Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear portal. I am Atlas Opia and I help people expand their interdimensional knowledge. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to create momentum with your manifestations so you can experience your desires more quickly and you can gain a better understanding of the different moving parts that have to come together to make this system function. Once you're aware of the different layers that come together to make energy into solid matter, you can tap into the process more efficiently of creation and see a greater result in your creativity here on Earth, especially as a starseed and an empath. And if you watch until the end of this video, you'll gain a better understanding on how to transmute energy in the quantum field and what can come up during the process and how to handle it. If you're back on this channel or if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing if you enjoy breaking down interdimensional consciousness in a way where your mind can actually absorb it. So the efforts you have in expanding your own consciousness can truly go above and beyond in a way that allows your body and your identity here on Earth to merge with where your soul wants you to go. So to jump right into it, the quantum field is the unseen layer of energy from our physical eyes that creates physical matter. And so one way to think about this is understanding that the universe is arranged by 13 dimensions. And every single dimension gives life to the one under it. And the entire universe is powered by the highest dimension, which is 13. That is the battery. And then energy from the 13th dimension moves into the 12th, 12th into 11th, 11th into 10th, and so forth. So when you're thinking about physical matter coming into reality in the third dimension, energy from the 13th dimension has to go from 12 to 11 till 10, all the way down until it hits 3. And every other dimension is a bridge. So the third dimension is what you're experiencing now, where your 5 senses can pick up on energy and interact with it in this simulation. The fourth dimension is time and space. And the fifth dimension is your free-flowing consciousness that is outside of the limitations that your subconscious mind emit. The fifth dimension is you being able to be in the realm of consciousness and travel wherever your imagination takes you, and you feel a sense of freedom and complete power when you're in that position. You feel like your triggers are not affecting you as much when you're in this position because you can observe your triggers from a state of curiosity and neutrality. Now, that is not to say that you always have to be in the fifth dimension and always have to be high vibe, because the reality is we have to pivot to whatever dimension that we're called to be in a particular moment, depending on what's happening. So in order for the version of life we see in our imagination to come into reality, we have to allow time to translate the frequency of that fifth dimensional energy into the frequency of third dimensional matter. Time slows down the frame rate and it acts as a buffer in between both of those worlds. And then you also have to allow space to be created in your life, which means that when you have attachments into old timelines, a timeline is a particular version of reality where there was a pattern of energy that would repeat on itself to create a particular theme. So when you're moving and you're growing, you'll kind of have connections into the old experiences you've had and the old belief systems which created those experiences, because the information is stored in your body. And it takes time to face those old experiences and old patterns of energy and show them love and acceptance, and truly allow yourself to feel whatever emotions you wanted to feel when that situation happened, and with the emotional frequency that comes with that particular storyline. The surrendering into the moment is what's going to allow you to create space and release those old timelines and really move into a new place. So momentum is thought of like a snowball, right? When you see a snowball on the top of a mountain and it rolls down, it continually picks up more snow, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it gets harder to stop. So you can think of it like this: the top of the mountain is when you decide in any given moment that you are not bound to what you're experiencing in the third dimension, because you know it is just a result of the energy in your system. But sometimes there is a delay. So what you're experiencing now could be a result of energy and patterns of emotions that are connected to a belief that occurred a year ago or 6 months ago. Because it takes time for energy in your system to translate into physical matter. So when you decide that you're getting to experience the thoughts and emotions of a particular story and you're not bound by it, you can realize that any version of reality is possible when you realize your imagination is the quantum field. It is how your mind is able to connect to the information coming through your third eye. And when you're in that state, you imagine the power of Earth going through the bottom of your body and all the way up into your heart. And as that powerful stream of energy continues upwards into your body, it goes through the top of your head, and you connect to everything in the universe. You become one with all energy, and you realize that the minute you have a thought of what if something happens in a good way, how would my life look if these were the conditions I was living under, you start to create momentum that can move you into that timeline. And whenever you have a thought, you're only bringing that information into your consciousness because you're a vibrational match to it. So when you can feel the timeline where you are already experiencing your desires and what you want is already present, and your creative power as a soul in a human body has decided to experience certain things on earth, and you can feel it as if it's so real, it's because it is in another parallel reality. And the moment you had that thought of what if, you created another starting point for a trajectory of energy that has its own written story of what happens, who do you meet, what do you experience. So when you allow yourself to be fluid, you can continually feel that your imagination is ahead of your logical mind. Your imagination is there to plug you into a certain parallel reality or version of life, and your logical mind is there to give you an idea of the habits and actions you need to get you there, and how you have to apply your energetic system to particular parts of society in order for you to get something done that is aligned with what you're wanting to create. The momentum comes from every day in the morning and night, have a meditation and start to see the different versions of you, like you're scrolling on social media or you're moving through different technology. You know how when you're on streaming apps or you're on a social media app or you're online, you can move from one piece of information to another. So what you want to do is think of your soul like that. Your soul has gotten to experience different versions of this reincarnation. And you can think of, oh wow, there was a period in my life where this was a general theme. And there's a period in my life where this was a general theme. And a theme consists of a pattern of beliefs that you have about yourself and the world, and a consistent, theme of adversity or things you're conquering. It's kind of like a specific era. And as you begin to see the different people and versions of yourself you've embodied, you can see the versions that you would like to move into. And you realize, wow, whether I'm aware of it or not, I'm manifesting everything. So I've created all of those different versions of myself and all the different experiences that I've encountered, not because you're wanting to put pressure on yourself and go, why did I create disempowering experiences? I only want to create high vibe experiences. You're allowing yourself to move beyond the idea of judgment and more into the idea of curiosity, that every experience is just a different type of energy. So when you're looking at the different versions of yourself and seeing the power that you've manifested all of them, you're not necessarily thinking, wow, why did I manifest this? Am I so stuck or wanting to punish myself or feeling guilty that I decided to give myself those experiences? No, they fit into the larger puzzle of who you are and what your story is. And it gives you the character of having to learn specific things by having no choice when you were in a difficult situation. But the power is in the creation, so see your creation and then move into that parallel reality and consistently move through your day where you're connecting the world around you with the version of yourself you're creating and the timeline you're moving into. So when you get in your car, think, I'm getting in my car and I have just received a message or notification that I got this, which is what I've always wanted. When you're at the gym or you're doing yoga, think, wow, I'm so happy that I get to move my body around because today I've really encountered all the things in my life that I've been waiting so hard to get. I'm glad I have it right now. And when you go to eat or you go to buy something, you can say, wow, I am rewarding myself by offering an exchange of energy that I got from my desire, from my dream job. And you consistently think of the frequency of having what you want. And then once the momentum builds, you lay off of it. You back off a little bit and you allow yourself to allow the field to translate the energy in a different dimension where you're seeing that parallel reality into the physical field. You give yourself time, you give the field time, and in that moment, after about 4 months of consistently manifesting the frequency of already having something and seeing the storyline where everything you want is already there, you fully back off and you detach, and then you're giving space so your subconscious mind doesn't put too much pressure in the field. Well, thank you guys for being here. I make videos every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're interested in understanding this new wave of spiritual technology that is coming into the collective, so the advanced souls like yourself and I can have more access to our creative powers here, then subscribe to this channel, because what I do is see the system at large and all the moving parts, and then I find ways to make connections that are explainable to the mind. So there's a structure, a divine masculine structure that can merge our human mind and our higher dimensional consciousness, because most of the time we leave out the connection and we think the body and the mind just catch up. And if you're an empath and a starseed and you really have been feeling like there is something more for you, there's something missing, that is the integration of your starseed culture and knowledge and traditions and powers into your human body, and explaining to your mind a way to interact with the quantum field that is aligned with your highest dimensional reincarnation. That is why I've channeled interdimensional skills, so you can understand how to perform different actions in the quantum field that all serve a purpose, and then you learn how to string and connect different actions together to perform a particular task. That could be altering energy in your body, in your environment, on Earth, or changing the field of energy that your soul family is experiencing in a higher dimension, or recalling different tasks you've had as a starseed, such as protecting different planets and beings and races, giving certain civilizations in the different dimensions resources, creating better relationships between beings that want to help each other. Learning how to carry out those tasks in this human body so you can merge both lives is what you may be calling towards. And if that's something you're interested in, consider my galactic quantum coaching. It is there where I merge into your system and I break down the process into an articulate art form, and I guide you through each session in a very powerful and gentle way, and I really allow you to come into yourself and control your power so it's less chaotic and more organized. Well, thank you. We'll talk soon. You have an amazing day. Bye.